Hi Stampers, this is the card that we'll be making today, and to make this card we will be using the Occasions alphabet and we'll be using the Summer Solstice stamp set. They're both new to this year's catalogue, and we'll also need a piece of basic grey that measures 5.5 by 3 3/4 inches, our card base which measures 8 1/4 by 5 3/4 inches, another piece of razzleberry and that is 5.5 by 2 3/8 inches, and a Whisper White that is 5.5 by 2 1/8 of an inch. I'll also be just using a couple of scrap pieces of Rich Razzleberry and Whisper White, and a length of Rich Razzleberry, the thin taffeta ribbon, and a piece of Lucky Limeade. We will start with our basic grey, and with our basic grey we're going to use the, I know where it is, we're going to use the flower and the leaf from the Summer Solstice, and in Versamark we are just going to randomly stamp the images. We're now going to use clear embossing powder and just cover that. There we go. And we will now use our heat tool and heat that up. And there we go. I'm now going to just set this piece aside, and we will take our card base, and we're just going to sponge around that in basic grey. And there we go. This will be covered later, so that bit there doesn't really matter because the grey piece is going to be going over that. We're now also going to do the same with the strip of Rich Razzleberry. I'm just going to ink around that in basic grey. And there we go. We can now set these two pieces aside because we'll be coming back to them soon. We will now take our white piece here, and we are going to, on a scrap piece of paper, we're going to take our flower design and okay, there it is, and our Rich Razzleberry and our basic grey. We're going to ink it up in Rich Razzleberry, and then we're just going to take our stamp and just do the edges in basic grey, and then we're just going to stamp that randomly over this piece of cardstock. And there we go. We'll now just set that piece aside so that can dry. And we're now going to take our leaf design, a scrap piece of Whisper White, and in Lucky Limeade we're just going to stamp 2 leaves. And we'll now cut around those. And there we go. We're now going to ink around the leaves and this border piece in basic grey. There we go. Now you're going to use your lace border punch and cut out a 5.5 inch scallop border, which I've already done. Just drop the card, there we go. And then using a pair of scissors, we're just going to cut those in half. You can use your paper trimmer if you'd like. I just find this quicker. There we go. And then you're just going to sponge the curved edges on this in basic grey. And there we go. Now we're going to do our sentiment. I just want to do all the little pieces and that before I put this together. And to do our sentiment tag, you're going to take the large Stampin' Up tag punch, extra, and just cut one of those out. Then we're going to put, stop it, then we're going to take our chosen sentiment. I'm going to use C is for congrats, so happy for you. I did K is for kindness on the last one. I just want to do a different sentiment this time. And in basic grey, you'll just put your sentiment in the centre. Here we go. Then you'll take your, ooh, cave in, never good. Then you'll take your large tag punch that is coordinating with the extra large, and you're just going to line that up. And punch that out. You will now attach these two together. Oh, before we attach them, we're just going to ink around the edges in basic grey. We're going to do both. And we're also going to ink around the Whisper White piece in Rich Razzleberry. I might also do that for this big piece as well. Just give it a little bit of a Rich Razzleberry edge. There we go. And now we can attach our tags together. There we go. Now before we keep going with this tag, we might just assemble our card. To assemble our card, we're just going to take our base, which I had a punch fall on, but should be okay. And we're going to adhere our embossed piece of basic grey. There we go. We're now going to attach our Rich Razzleberry 5.5 by, no, we won't attach that to the card. We will assemble this separately. So we'll assemble our Whisper White with our flowers. There we go. And then we're going to turn this over and run adhesive down both of the long sides. And just attach our borders to the top and the bottom. And there we go. We're now going to attach our ribbon, and we're going to pierce it through these two top loops. So one through that side, and then one through that top one there. And then we're just going to tie a knot. And there's our knot, and then we're just going to trim the sides off of the knot. And there we go. This can now be attached to our card base, just using tape. There we go. We'll now take our, if I can locate them, we'll need to take some dimensionals and our cut out leaves. And just place them on the card where we want them. There we go. And we're now just going to attach our tag. So we'll take our tag, and then we'll take, oops, sorry. And then I'll just take my paper piercer and just prick a hole. There we go. Now we'll just take some linen thread. Just a small length. And we'll just piece that through our hole. And we're just going to tie that to our side bow or ribbon.